Hi everybody, I am trying to implement my behavior modification from Monday night, and that is to get my homework done extremely early and so that I can reap the benefit and get the reward of having a date night with my husband. So here I am. When I could be laying on the couch, I decided that I'm going to get my homework done. So chapter 10 is paradoxical intention. And this is where the counselor directs the client to perform in a way that seems incompatible with the target goal. It's not tied to any other theoretical approach. Erfurt's example is if someone has panic attacks and they're fearful of death, the counselor will tell the client to just go ahead and have that panic attack and make sure it's the worst one yet. When people try to get better, the symptoms sometimes increase, but often the harder the client tries to produce the symptoms intentionally, the more they find that they can't do it. That makes sense, right? The thoughts behind this technique is that most problems are more emotional than they are logical. This technique helps the client become more aware of their behavior in certain situations and to take responsibility. There's 8 important factors. One is to establish the relationship with the client, define the problem, create the goals, offer a plan, disqualify the current authority on the problem, give the paradoxical intention directive, observe the client's response to the directive, and continue encouragement. The last one is to avoid taking credit for the improvement. So I think this one will be pretty hard to do with you guys, but I'm excited to see what you guys do for me. So how I can implement this in my professional day, because a lot of kids are like, oh, I'm just going to go kill myself. And it's not a joke anymore. Like, I've experienced students that have committed suicide. I look really orange in this. So I think that might be too far. That's a bad idea. Scratch that. I wish I could rewind that. I don't know how. I don't like where I was going with that. But I think that I could use it whenever they're complaining about, my life is so terrible. And then I could be like, yeah, your life is so terrible. And maybe they'll be like, why would you say that? Well, I'm just repeating back what you're saying, and have them really focus on why they think their life is so terrible and pump the brakes on some of that negativity. Then it jumps to chapter 30, and it's modeling, the process by which individuals learn from watching others. So this kind of makes me think about my 6-year-old son and my 3-year-old. My 3-year-old watches my 6-year-old do all kinds of stuff, and he wants to be just like his brother. So I try to make sure that my 6-year-old is doing proper behaviors so that my 3-year-old will model them correctly as well. So this is the most wide used, well-researched, and highly regarded type of training intervention. It's also known as imitation, identification, observational learning, and vicarious learning. There's 3 types: the overt, the symbolic, and the covert. So overt is the live modeling. The symbolic is like illustration, and covert is where you imagine the target behavior happening for you or being successfully completed by others. Before modeling can begin, the client and the counselor need to pick an alternative behavior that will be used as the target to replace the undesirable one. Clients get many opportunities to practice this target behavior after modeling has happened. The book gave 2 examples: the 17-year-old who's trying to relax, and so the counselor is demonstrating the deep breathing technique. And so where you inhale and exhale. So that makes me think of yoga and how that relaxation can really help someone that has anxiety or issues with being able to calm themselves. The other one was the 10-year-old who fights all the time. And so modeling for that is coming up with they came up with 8 different ways instead of fighting to help solve his problems. And then they talked about in the moment, like instead of punching that kid out, why don't we count to 10? Why don't we walk away? And all those things. So they practiced and modeled together on that. So modeling is a pretty awesome technique that I think as adults we kind of take for granted sometimes. Those little kids are watching us all the time. And so we can implement that into our counseling sessions by showing them the proper way to do things and have them practice a whole bunch on that. The next chapter was 31, Behavioral Reversal, and counselors use this to help clients become completely aware of themselves. Role play is where the client is learning a new type of behavior to use in response to certain situations. It involves modeling the behavior, receiving feedback from the counselor, and practicing the desired behaviors. This helps decrease anxiety. And the book Erford talks about the steps to be implemented, and they are to practice the behavior to be modeled. So we are piecing together all these techniques that we've learned into one or a combination of one, as you guys have read and seen for yourself too. So build on the client's motivation through positive reinforcement strategies. So that was last week. And give the client plenty of focus and concrete feedback. That feedback is super important. Use positive reinforcements to shape and develop skilled behaviors. And there's also 6 rules that go along with it. Express emotions verbally. Present feelings non-verbally using body language. Contradict when one disagrees with them. Speak in first person, so use I. And agree with the counselor's praise. And the last one is to improvise and live in the moment. So how would I use all these with my professional self is, once again, these are different ways to connect with the client. That rapport and that trust building, and just another opportunity to gain confidence in my counseling skills and to be able to incorporate those when it is fit for that situation. Because we can definitely relate to fighters and anxiety with tests and different things our students experience on a daily basis. So these will definitely help with my future career. And I think that these concepts are super important. Thanks for listening.